It has contributed to a significant increase in adverse event reports. We currently have about 11,000 adverse event reports for the 2 COVID vaccines in front of the TGA. Our job is to look for the needle in that haystack.
Ultimately, it's a decision of government, and we sort of really can't comment further than that.
Okay, if they say compensation is available through the courts and they're given indemnity insurance to vaccine suppliers...
Correct.
People can only get paid compensation if they go through the courts, so obviously the government would know this, and if it doesn't, it needs to get a handle on the situation. Most people cannot afford to go through the courts. They're delusional. That's the first thing. And by the way, they're chocked. So... and even if they win, which would be an uphill, that would be an uphill battle for them. Do you think that the lack of compensation system has to do with why people are so hesitant to go out and get a jab? Because trust me, Mr Murphy, as a senator, I'm saying you're not compensated. I'm making that very clear to people out there. I'm not going to sit there and lie to them. So if something goes wrong, I'm telling them how hard it is, because that is my job as a senator. So how do you think the government's going to go by us telling the truth out there to the people that, you know what, if something goes wrong, you're stuffed, because your government isn't going to look after you and you're not getting compensation?
I would hope you wouldn't say to the public that if something goes wrong, you're stuffed, Senator. That would not be good.
Well, that's the truth, Mr Murphy. It takes years to get through a court system. If you do get sick from this stuff, you will get sick. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that's not happening or that won't happen. Because I'm not telling the truth, Mr Murphy.
Thanks.
Okay, Senator Lambie, if we let Professor Murphy respond.
So, look, I don't think I can add anything more to it, Senator. That's been a decision of government to not go down that.
Which is obviously why they're in the 1B, quite significant issues. So, does that apply to anybody in 1B?
There's no evidence that any underlying medical conditions predispose to this reaction, with rare reaction. It appears out of the blue whether you have an underlying medical condition or not.
And there's no...
I think people are getting quite agitated right out there now outside, Pete, and those anti-vaxxers out there, that 20-30%, are the ones out there are protesting on the streets and doing that sort of thing. I think you're going to find the rest of us coming at you lock, stock and barrel, and we're going to be putting the pressure on you fairly hard, because the rest of us that are trying to do the right thing by the country and our kids and get vaccinated and do the right thing, I think for you, we're going to start to get even more agitated and we're going to start to get more hardcore, and I think that's what you're going to see, massive division out there, and it'll be us on the front foot. That's what I think is going to happen. I think the tide is going to turn on those anti-vaxxers out there, and you are really going to feel the heat.
Okay.